And the question's from Nicola Franklin, so thank you very much for it. Where do the candidates think the LIS profession's borders are? Which skill sets are in and which are out? That's probably a really horrible one to ask you to answer quickly.
Well, it is, and I mean the temptation to just say that there are no borders. I decided when I was quite young I was going to be a librarian, and I thought I'd spend my time in a library and I'd meet some nice people and I would stamp books out and get a chance to read a lot. I have had, none of those experiences really, and I never seemed to have the skill set I needed when I needed it. It always came too late. I've been all over the place and done all sorts of things. Yes, there are certain common threads, but each time it's been new things to learn and a wider and broader experience. So I don't think you can rule anything out, and that's not an easy answer. That's actually the difficult one. I would find it much easier to sit down and write a list of things that librarians ought to be. But I found in nearly 40 years in local government that wouldn't have done for me. If I'd been straitjacketed like that, I wouldn't have had the successful career that I had.
Thank you, Maria.
Well, this was something that we discussed a lot with Nicola, so I'm very happy that she's asking this question. A couple of weeks ago, Internet Librarian International, where she spoke and I spoke, and quite a few members were in there as well. And we agreed that as library information professionals, the most important skills are the softer skills, are not really all these technical skills that we think we ought to have. Especially in this new world, that we need to be able to communicate, we need to be able to influence very well, to create partnerships and foster them. We have already spoken about all those things. So I think that the skills that we need to have are the same as any other professional. We have to be good with people, we need to be able to communicate with others, we need to be able to communicate our message, advocate for our services. It doesn't really matter where we work. We all need that.
Fantastic. Mike?
I think there's something in the basis of a climbing frame, a mix of skills, depending on where you are, what you need at a particular time, all of those sorts of things. Yes, I agree. There are requirements for softer skills, but I think there are also requirements in particular sectors for some of the harder skills in terms of indexing, knowledge management, etc. So you need to be able, wherever you're going, to be able to mix and match a range of harder and softer skills from this climbing frame, developing all the time.
Okay. It's a really mean question to ask, people to answer quickly, but I hope you forgive me. So,
I think actually that there is, and this is taking me back to my library school days, so this is going to sound a very old-fashioned answer, but I think actually if you look at the principles of Ranganathan, and you look at every reader his book and every book his reader, and every single information job I have ever had comes down to that. It's about putting the right people together with the right information for the task they are trying to do at that time. And I think that is what pulls us together, and I think that's where our unique selling point lies. And however you do that with technology, whatever environment you do that in, that holds true, and that's what separates us out. I think beyond that, we shouldn't be curtailed except by our own imaginations. I think we've got to be better at spotting opportunities and grabbing them before anybody else does, because actually there are a lot of people in organisations with much sharper elbows than mine, and they will grab the interesting work if I'm humming and hawing about whether this is right for me. So I think it's about knowing who we are at our core, but also expanding that into all of the facets that are offered to you.
Thank you. Liz?
Right, my answer is very short and sweet. I think the skill set we need is the same as that of a chief executive of a council or a big organisation. And key to that are, of course, the basic skills, the digital and the traditional skills. But more importantly, I think it's about being able to engage, to network, salesmanship, advocacy, and influencing skills. So for me, all of the basic skills, but everything like that on top of it. And I think these are transferable skills that will take people through any job in their career.
Yeah.